Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name's Lisa and here I am today sitting down. I haven't put any makeup on because today I want to talk about my acne and my acne journey. So right now, hopefully you can't see any. I do have a few scars as you can see, but yeah, those are not active pimples. Those are just scars from old pimples. A little bit of discoloration on my chin and jawline. But aside from that, I haven't had acne for a number of months now, coming close to 6 months, and it has been a wonderful thing. For any of you who have been experiencing acne or still experience acne, I really feel for you. It is a long, hard journey trying to figure out what is at the root of your acne, and if you haven't found that yet, I really hope that this video is going to be helpful for you. I really trawled the internet when I was still experiencing acne, and I listened to lots of YouTubers and their different experiences, and I was able to learn a bit here and there, which ultimately did contribute to, I guess, my detective work on trying to figure out what was causing my acne. And so yeah, that's why I'm here today, to hopefully inspire you that it is possible to clear your acne even if you've had it for many years. Personally, I had it for 15 years before I finally found out what was the cause, and now I've been about 6 months on the other side, so I thought now is a good time to sit down and make this video for you. I'll give you a quick run through of my experiences with acne and some pictures of what that used to look like, and then I'd like to go through some things that I tried that really didn't work, and so hopefully save you guys some time, and then some things that I tried that kind of worked, and then I will share some things that actually worked. I'll also add a little section in there of things that I didn't try and why I didn't try them. And at the end, I will wrap up with my thoughts and what I would do if I found myself at the beginning of the journey again, or what I wish I'd known prior to figuring out what was causing my acne. So without any further ado, let's jump into some pictures of when I was younger. Here I am, this is my early teens, and during this time I had just a few little pimples, as you often do in your early teens. In hindsight, it was very light acne, but I guess I learned to live with it, and a lot of other people my age were experiencing acne, so I wasn't deeply troubled by it. I also didn't worry about it very much because I thought that it would clear up as I got older, as it had for my parents. During my gap year, I did a year of work experience, and I was able to have a rhythm and routine so that I ate a pretty good diet. I wasn't overly stressed, and I think my acne did very well in that year. It was almost clear. But unfortunately, the year after that, when I started university, my acne took a turn for the worse. University being college, for those of you who are in America. Those years were characterized by a lot of stress and a lack of routine, where I wasn't eating particularly well. My acne was at its worst in the years following my graduation from university. So here is a picture from a holiday I went on in 2015, which was roughly 2 years after I graduated. And as you can see, I have pretty large acne, mostly on my lower face, but I did have a little bit on my forehead as well. Keeping in mind I was in my early 20s, I had thought that my acne would be going away at this point, so it did start to worry me a little bit more at this point, or considerably more at this point, because yeah, I had expected it would be fading away at this point in time instead of getting worse. So now I'll talk about some things that I tried during this period of time, quite a long period of time. I experimented quite a bit. Some things that I tried that didn't work would be being more hygienic, as in not keep resting your hand on your face, or making sure that you use a different face cloth to dry your face every day. Things like washing your face morning and evening, things like that. While I think that there's something to be said for not resting on your hand, because I did sometimes find that I would break out after sitting there resting on my hand for a while, or talking on the phone. I would sometimes get a little breakout near my ear. I think those things are somewhat helpful in the sense that they will prevent your acne from getting worse, but what I was really looking for was something to actually clear my acne, and no matter how hygienic I was, I couldn't clear my acne just by practicing good hygiene. Another thing that I tried that I feel was mostly unsuccessful was cutting out sugar. Typical advice that I would get is that teenage acne is caused by eating too much sugar, and so I I worked so hard to cut out sugar from my diet. I was really very strict, and yeah, sugar was not part of my diet apart from some fruit sugar. And even though I did that very strictly for 6 months or more, I really didn't see any improvement. And sometimes I would even have a breakout and I thought I'd been so good and I felt really frustrated, but I keep telling myself that, you know, if I can just do this more strictly, if I can do this for longer, more consistently, I'll be fine. But I still think that 6 months was a fair go, so I'm not hard on myself in that regard. I'm just going to say it didn't work. There are some things that I didn't try, and I just want to quickly talk about that because I guess the first port of call for a lot of people is to go to a doctor. I was really worried about seeing a doctor because I'd heard, rightly or wrongly, I have not the experience to say, but I was under the impression that if I went to a doctor or if I was referred to a dermatologist, that they would just give me medication or a sort of antibiotic topical cream or something like this. And much as I really wanted my acne to go away, what I cared about even more was understanding why my acne was there in the first place. Because I guess I'm a fairly firm believer in holistic health and that your skin just doesn't break out for no reason. That's why I didn't go that route. I'd also heard of some people who had lasting and ongoing effects from having taken medication when they were younger, so I was very worried about going that route, and I just didn't want to spend a lot of money on something I didn't think I was likely to believe in. I'm really glad for the people it does help, but for me, I really just wanted answers above anything. Now to move on to a few things that kind of worked. Limited success. My mum was seeing a naturopath. I can't remember if it was 2013, my last year of university, or whether it was after that. But she did bring home a rather potent tablet for me to try, which was vitamin C with zinc. Because it was from the naturopath, it was rather full strength. I had to take it very consistently to see the benefits, but it did help to some extent. It didn't totally clear up my acne, but I think it certainly helped the turnover to be quicker, in the sense that any acne that was occurring was able to heal quickly, and then I suppose the overall appearance of my face wasn't so bad. Yeah, I just had less pimples hanging around for a long time. So that was helpful. I did eventually go and see the naturopath myself, which also did help to some extent. The naturopath recommended that I eat a whole food kind of diet and cut out almost all dairy products from my diet, including milk, cream. I was asked to reduce my amount of cheese that I was eating, but I was allowed to have a little bit of butter here and there. So it was a very good diet, and I definitely saw significant improvement on that diet. I also was taking a herbal mixture, which was more aimed at correcting a hormonal imbalance that I had, which the naturopath had suggested was connected to my acne. And so that kind of was the first introduction to the idea that hormones and acne could be related. But having said that, it didn't totally clear up my acne. It was significant, but it wasn't complete. I did at some stage find that I couldn't afford to see the naturopath anymore and kind of just gave up on that. Yeah, as I said, it wasn't able to fully clear the acne. Another thing that I tried that was quite successful was spearmint tea. Because in my research I was looking at connecting my hormones with my acne, I stumbled across some people who were using spearmint tea to help their cycle imbalances, and also a lot of them were reporting the side effect of improving their acne. I also came across a few YouTubers who were using spearmint tea to improve their acne with some success, so I gave it a go. It took me about 4 months of consistently drinking 4 cups of tea per day to see any results, and that was very achievable during winter because I do love a good cup of tea in winter. But come the summer months, I found it quite hard to keep up. But having said that, it was working. So it took 4 months to see results. I didn't get the totally clear complexion that I was always hoping for, but it really did a good job. So if that's something you want to try, it could be worth your while. Having said that though, that's something I would caution against if you're a male, because spearmint tea can affect hormones, and I'm not quite sure how positively it would affect male hormones, so you might want to look into that one yourself before giving it a try. I also tried seed cycling, which seemed like it was going to work in the first 2 weeks, but then in the second 2 weeks, my acne seemed to be even worse. So with seed cycling, you have 2 seeds that you use in the first 2 weeks, and then you swap it out for 2 different seeds in the next 2 weeks, and then you just keep cycling like that. And so I gave that a go, but as I was saying, the first 2 weeks my skin was pretty good. Second 2 weeks my skin seemed to be even worse. So that didn't work either, but because the first 2 weeks seemed to be good, that's why I've kind of put it in the sort of worked category. When it comes to topical things, the 2 things that I used that had the best effect was tea tree oil, which some studies have shown to be as effective, if not more effective than benzoyl peroxide, which is what you find in a lot of acne treatment creams, with less side effects. So I went down the route of using tea tree oil, and I found that to be quite helpful. It didn't get rid of acne in the sense of it wouldn't appear, but it definitely helped clear it up faster and just shorten the duration of each individual cyst or pimple. And also I guess it helped in the sense that it helps prevent the buildup of bacteria on your skin as well. Just a note on that one, don't use it straight because it needs to be diluted a bit before it can go on your skin, otherwise it will burn your skin and you might end up with worse skin than what you had before. Yeah, so the other thing I wanted to mention was pseudo cream. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not 100% sure. I've got one at hand I can show you. This one. Some of you might recognize it as nappy rash cream, and that is actually what I had it in my house for, but it says on it zinc oxide 15%, and then it also says that it's a healing cream. So I did have a stage where I had quite a few cysts around the corners of my mouth, and they were just taking a long time to go away, particularly because the skin being really elastic right there. Every time I would move my mouth too much or smile, it would tend to crack the skin. It would got quite dry. It just, I guess, prolonged the duration of having redness around the corners of my mouth. And so I was using this cream, and yeah, it really helped to just accelerate the healing of the skin. And so what I would typically do is I'd put the tea tree oil on while the pimple was yet to surface, and then afterwards I would use this cream to just help clear up any scarring and just to help the fresh skin to replenish. And so yeah, the combination of the 2 was what I ended up using, and the good news is that both of them are really cheap and easy to get your hands on. Yeah, I had more success with those 2 than a lot of other expensive creams, so I'd definitely recommend those for, I guess, more of a management thing. But now to get to the bit you've probably all been waiting for, and what it was that actually cleared my skin. So a friend of mine recommended to me that I try going dairy-free. I wasn't that keen to start with because I had tried going pretty much dairy-free when I was seeing the naturopath, but I gave it another go because I was starting to get worried about the long-term impacts of chronic inflammation. And you know, I don't think one willingly gives up cheese and all those good things, but it didn't get me the whole way to clear skin. Although what it did do was it took away enough of my acne that I could start to see a correlation between which days I tended to get acne and which days I had more clear skin. And so because I took dairy out of the picture, I was able to then figure out which other foods were triggering my acne. Long story short, it turned out to be sunflower oil. Now I would have never guessed sunflower oil as being a trigger for acne, but now that I've taken it out of my diet, I've been able to have clear skin consistently, and if I eat something that I know has sunflower oil in it or dairy in it, at least I will wake up the next morning and expect a pimple and it will be there, and I won't be shocked, or I guess it's more of a conscious choice that I can make, whereas previously I didn't know what was causing my acne, and if I really wanted clear skin on a particular day, I didn't know what to do to achieve it. So I suppose it's not ideal in the sense that my diet is more restricted. I now can't eat dried fruits, many brands of crackers, many processed foods basically, and even canned tuna. A lot of things that I had previously been eating thinking they were healthy. A lot of dairy substitutes such as soy ice cream, different brands of almond milk, oat milk. A lot of different products do have sunflower oil in them, and I just have to be really careful to read the label. But as long as I can find a product that uses a different type of oil, then I have clear skin. So I'm very happy. It has been a long journey and I'm so glad to be on the other side of it. It's something I've been hoping for years, and I'm just really glad not to grow old with acne. So yeah, I hope this really helps you. Just a few thoughts in wrapping up. If there's anything that I would like to recommend to someone else who may be experiencing acne, I've got 3 different things which I would recommend you check out. My first one would be to look for vitamin deficiencies. This was something that I looked into and was very successful for some people, finding that they had low vitamin B or low vitamin A. Secondly, look into gut health. I do have a close friend who was able to clear her skin by just nurturing her gut health and seeing somebody who was able to guide her through healing some gut problems. If you do have gut problems, it is quite probable that it may be linked to your acne, especially if you've only had acne recently and it sort of correlates with any digestive problems that you may have been experiencing. If they correlate, I would say address the gut health issues and you might find that your acne clears up as well. And lastly, I would say go and get allergy testing. If you've had acne for a long time, I think there are fairly good chances that it's an underlying allergy that you're not aware of. As I said earlier, I really do believe in a holistic approach to health and treating acne. It costs a bit of money to get allergy tested, but at least you know you're going to have some more concrete answers as to what might be triggering your skin problems. So, I mean, you could be allergic to something that you're putting on your skin, you could be allergic to something that you're eating, but either way, if you could avoid those substances, you might find you're able to clear your skin. So that is my top 3 recommendations for anyone who's still trying to discover what is causing their acne. And I really hope that helps some of you. If it does, please do leave a comment down below. I would be so glad to hear if this video has been helpful for you. And I really do sympathize with you because it is a long and hard journey and there's not a lot of answers readily available out there. So keep up the detective work, and if you liked this video, please do give it a thumbs up and feel free to check out the rest of my videos on my channel. And thank you so much for watching. All the best. Bye!